performances do we want to see? No, we want to embrace our differences and see different performers doing different acts and, how they live in different ways. Every year we have what we call a ring party. It's a special time. It's usually the third dark Monday of our season. And that's a time when after the show, we all come together in center ring, performers, the staff, admin, and everybody brings dishes, foods from their respective countries. And we get together and Pedro and Dolly say a few words and we just all enjoy one another and have this wonderful smorgasbord of foods from everywhere and just laugh and talk and, just have a great time. Very social, very fun time. So, and it's important.
That sounds really, really lovely.
It's important. Yeah, it really is. It really is.
So, were you personally ever have you ever done any sort of performance? Was that ever part of your life?
Well, not really. Now, working in house management is a performance of its own. And I'm often asked by patrons on the way out, "Oh, are you a performer? Did I see you up on the wire?" And I kind of laugh and I say, yes, I am, because actually that's what I do. My job is largely customer service. So there is some performance to that and attending to the needs. But other than my work there, I don't really choose to perform publicly unless it's something very special and something that I'm expressly asked to maybe MC in the circus tent.
Yeah.
An example of that would be when I announced and spearheaded the launching of a new scholarship fund that was to benefit a Sailor Circus Academy student. And the fund was established in memory of our dynamic 2019 house manager, Samantha Pellicano. Samantha tragically passed of breast cancer at the age of 27, but her impact on the circus world truly was huge, and her passing really sent a chilling ripple through our community. So this past year, 2020, February of 2020, Dolly expressly asked me to say a few words and kick off that fund to our dress rehearsal community. And our dress rehearsal is a full-blown show, but Dolly and Pedro choose to invite their circus community, and it's free of charge. So we have all circus royalty in the tent for that dress rehearsal the night before we open. So I was privileged to, I was shaking in my boots too, to be in center ring and announce this very special scholarship fund. So, but other than that, I try to kind of keep it in the house and in the wings a little bit. I like to think of myself, the wind beneath the wings. I don't really need to be out there. Let the pros do that. Yes.
So, how did you become connected with Dolly and Pedro?
Well, it was way back, 13 years ago. And my daughter was a student at Out of Door Academy High School. There was another woman working, well, for then it was Circus Sarasota, working for Dolly and Pedro, and she needed some volunteers and asked some of the students to be volunteers. Well, for Circus Sarasota, volunteer ushers. So my youngest daughter was only in 7th grade, I think, at the time. She wanted to usher. So the then volunteer coordinator told me that she would give my daughter Audra a shot if she was a little younger than what we like to have. And now as volunteer coordinator myself, I understand this. But if I stayed on campus, she would give her a shot at ushering. So me being me, I wasn't going to sit in the car and read a book. So I decided, well, I may as well usher. Why not? I'll usher with the girls. Yeah. So I started ushering, I guess it was 2008, with both of my daughters, one who was in 10th grade at the time, one who was in, or 9th grade, I guess, one who was in 7th grade at the time. So there it was. I just started. I mean, my daughters actually kind of, I was dragged into it in that way, and I mean that with all due respect. And I've just they went off to college, and I just kept working, and Yeah. At some point, the volunteer coordinator then retired. And she told me that year, too, by the way, that when she retired, I was going to take over her position. And I just laughed because, listen, I couldn't remember which side of the tent was even, which side was odd. I was just beside myself. I'm like, oh, there's no way. I am never going to remember all this. And, well, yeah, years later, here I was. The girls were in college, and I just kept up and took one position after another. And so house management and volunteer coordinator, and yeah, that's it. And then the guest ringmasters, of course, I do host them, which is a wonderful program. And I've met some just phenomenal people through that program. So that's a privilege to do. But so that's how I really was introduced to Dolly and Pedro. It was just simply by someone asking the high school students to help out. And one of them happened to be too young. So there I was. Yeah.
So, does circus have any impact on the rest of your life?
Well, I think circus has changed my life considerably. I think the Circus Arts Conservatory has changed my life, and my team, everyone I work with. I have been just absolutely wowed by the talent, by the dedication, the commitment of our team. I just can't get over it, by some of the lives, what they've done in the past. And as I said, circus is life, and it's a life choice. It's a definite way of life that one chooses. And in so doing, to choose a certain lifestyle, there's an attitude and respect that becomes ingrained. And it's said worldwide that circus folk have sawdust in their veins. Well, you're not just born like that. If you are indoctrinated into circus, however that happens, like with me, I just kind of fell into it and fell in love with it and just continued on. It doesn't really matter in what regard you choose to live circus, whether it's performance, management, instruction, teaching, mentoring. Circus is just who you become, and it becomes you. So it definitely will impact the rest of my life. No matter where I go, what I do, I feel I've become more open. I've definitely become more observant. I've come to appreciate talent in all forms, whether it's comedic talent, clowning, and what really goes into that, to trapeze or high wire or hand balancing. And then down to not just performance, but to instruct, to teach and educate in a certain way our youth. Of course, we have the oldest running youth circus in the country, and we take that very seriously. So there's a way that you carry yourself. There's a way of behavior. You set an example, and an example is always set for you. The bar is high, and those who choose to live that way, I think, are more self-confident. They have a greater respect for the world at large, for their fellow human. I mean, for all of it. That's not just rhetoric. I honestly believe that. So yes, it definitely has impacted my life and will do so for the rest of my life, for sure.
And what about your children? Are any of your children still being impacted by the circus?
Oh, absolutely. Both of my daughters, who started as ushers, both of them came back from college and did a stint as house manager. Annika in 2016 and Audra in 2018, and then Audra was also with me in Washington, D.C. But they went on to write their high school, senior year in high school, they wrote their college essay on their experience with Circus Sarasota in particular. And in both cases, both colleges kind of looked the other way and said, well, wait a minute, tell me about this. Tell me about circus. What's that? It was just so different, not of the ordinary. They wanted to hear. So what did they learn from that? Leadership, acceptance, responsibility, working with people. So it did lead them. One of them is a teacher, today a high school teacher, leading her own set of high school students and guiding them in community service. She teaches in West Palm Beach. And the younger one just received a master's degree in social. And much of what she did with circus, managing people and so forth, really led her into that field of study. So, yes, they are still, I mean, that legacy is with them. They've appreciated the arts, but they've appreciated management and a different side of what they saw. They both were safety officers, being house management. They were both safety officers, so they have become much more aware of the world around them, and I think more willing to help others, because of it. And they started, like I say, at a young age.
Yeah. And how many children do you have?
Definitely. I have 5. I have 5, and every year my kids come to the performance. The 2 girls, like I say, the 2 younger girls were the ones who were ushers and house managers.
Right.
But the rest of the girls, I have 3 granddaughters now, and my oldest granddaughter has participated in summer camp for many years, in performance. She's a beautiful aerialist. So she's done the Sailor Circus summer camp. They live in Miami, so they're not here to really take advantage of Sailor Circus year round. So it's Miami, and I was just talking to my daughter prior to this conversation with you about putting the younger 2 kids in summer camp this year. So
summer camp is almost sold out. So
yes. So I've got to jump on that.
Yeah,
so
well, unfortunately we have we're at 50% capacity due to our response to social distancing and how we can still circus. So the camps are a little bit smaller, but they're very, very popular, and a couple of the sessions have already sold out. So which is exciting for us.
I did see that. That's fantastic. Yes, it really is. It really is. So,
well, Marcia,
what they learn is just fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. The summer camp.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that's okay. The summer camp is so unique and so different from all the other offerings. I'm sure not just in Sarasota, but anywhere. And the children really, they get so much out of it. Everything that they learn, in addition to the act, they learn teamwork and time management and responsibility. And they don't even realize they're learning it because they're having such a good time.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Wonderful. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think that our time is just about up, but I want to thank you so much for speaking with me. And is there anything you'd like to add that I didn't cover?
No, I think we've covered it all in the 2 blogs or 2 podcasts that we have done. And thank you so much for inviting me back. I really appreciate it. And
it was my pleasure.
I look forward to, another year with the Circus Arts Conservatory. So,
all right, the next year, got to be great. So thank you so much for joining us. And once again, I just would like to say to you, may all of your days be circus days.
Be circus days. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much.